Well, spring means warmer weather, flowers blooming, and an explosion of pollen from trees, grass, and weeds that triggers seasonal allergies. Naturopathic physician Alana Pola joins us all the way from Vancouver with some natural remedies to help us cope with all that sneezing, coughing, and congestion. Welcome, Alana. So great to see your beautiful face again.
Thank you.
Okay,
so good to see you.
Yes, before we even get to what we can take to alleviate our allergy symptoms, what can we make sure we're doing in our everyday practices to make the season a little bit more bearable?
So our immune system releases histamine when we have an allergic response, and that's what's responsible for the sneezing and the runny eyes and the itchy eyes. So ways to decrease histamine from a lifestyle perspective are so important. So the first one is when pollen counts are really high, stay inside. Check with your local station. When pollen counts are highest, stay indoors. Next, shower regularly, your hair and your face especially, and wash your clothes. That's where pollens tend to accumulate. And using a neti pot or a sinus rinse daily to ensure that your nasal passages are clear.
Yeah, the middle one kind of gets me. Like you hope people are showering regularly, right? Just to like
or
on a side
their
note.
Clothes.
Just on a side note. Okay, and if
Daily.
those habits aren't enough to improve allergy symptoms, why is it a good idea to consider taking a natural remedy instead of popping an antihistamine?
So antihistamines come with some side effects that people aren't necessarily aware of. You know, they stop that histamine response, but in doing so, they also cause drowsiness.
Yes.
And they can increase your heart rate and blood pressure. And they also dry up all your mucous membranes. So they stop the runny nose and the eyes by drying everything up. And that's not the most favorable.
No, nobody wants dry, crusty nose. Okay, take us through some of the natural supplements that you do recommend.
So quercetin is one of my absolute favorites. It's a natural antihistamine. It blocks that histamine response without causing any of those side effects. N-acetylcysteine or NAC is also a great one. It helps thin mucus and congestion. Stinging nettle is another great one with symptoms of hay fever. Fish oil and vitamin C, both are anti-inflammatory and both help our immune system.
Okay, and then you say vitamin C and fish oil as well. I want to go back to the pollen when you mentioned when that is really, really high. Is there a specific time frame in the day when it's really, really high that you should avoid, or are you saying just stay inside all day?
No, I think there are varying days that the pollen counts are the highest. You see things floating around in the air, so checking, and also windows. This is also another big one. You don't necessarily have to stay indoors all day, but in your house and your car, I know the weather is warm and you want to open your windows, but keep your windows closed, especially in the house, because that's when things will fly in. And if you are staying indoors, you just want to ensure that the air inside is clear. And you can do that with even an air purifier. That helps to ensure that your indoor air is clear.
Here's a quick question too, Lana. Would wearing a mask help? Like people are already doing that, right?
Yeah, it definitely can help, except when you're outside, there's people cutting grass and the cherry blossoms and everything else that is able to get in and irritate the eyes. That area isn't protected with a mask.
Yeah, that's like a dream for me, but you're right. For anybody who has allergies, they're like, oh, cherry blossoms. Okay, really quickly, certain foods that you recommend can also make seasonal allergies that really, really bad.
Yeah, so definitely dairy. Dairy is very mucogenic, and it can cause a lot of congestion and mucus and congestion. Inflammatory foods and sugar also weaken our immune system. So eating a really clean, whole foods rich diet can just help boost your immune system and your immune fighting response.
What would you say are the highest inflammatory foods to absolutely avoid? Like when you say inflammatory foods, like what?
So dairy is a big one, gluten for some people, nightshade vegetables, certain nuts and seeds, red meat, alcohol.
Yikes.
Yeah, coffee.
You just took the party out of everything. I'm kidding.
Moderation.
Alana Pola, thank you so much for joining us once again. We'll be right back, everyone.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.